Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ring melt ceremony for the class of 2023. I am Kathy Kilner, class of 1990, and your master of ceremonies for this event. Welcome all to the 22nd annual ring melt ceremony. We are here today to celebrate the Long Gray Line of West Point graduates. This program couldn't exist without graduates and their families who make the decision to donate their loved ones' rings. Cadet Kinkle is the Ring and Crest Chair for the class of 2023, is currently serving abroad this semester as part of the West Point Association of Graduates Margin of Excellence, and will therefore be providing her remarks virtually.
I'm so grateful that I can still participate from my semester abroad in Germany. Today, your donations will form a tangible link between the Long Gray Line and the class of 2023.
In today's ceremony, we have 71 donated class rings. These rings span the classes of 1909 to 2004. These 71 rings bring the grand total to 740 rings that have been donated to this program to date. Each year, a sample is extracted from the ingot of previously melted rings and then added to the melt the following year to ensure that gold from all ring melts going back to the inaugural ceremony is included in the production of the rings for the upcoming first class cadets. The rings that will be melted today were donated by graduates who contributed immeasurably to our country by their distinguished military careers and lives of achievement and service. These rings were worn by graduates who served our country over the past 113 years, wherever they were needed around the globe.
Colonel John R. McLean, class of 1940.
Colonel Stratus J. Stratus, class of 1946.
I feel that the ring is coming home.
Mr. Raymond V. Kotowski, class of 1953. Lieutenant Colonel Donald C. Porter, class of 1954.
These remarks were sent in by Cindy Sigmund, Ken Porter, and Sharon Stanzak. The character he gained here was a torch he carried throughout his life, and it impacted a great many others. From the time the ring melt ceremony was first instituted, it was Dad's heartfelt desire to bequeath his ring as a symbolic passing of this torch.
Major Howell H. Jordan, Jr., class of 1957.
My Uncle Hal wore his ring through a lifetime filled with courage, love, and hope for the future. I hope that the gold from this ring gives strength to the members of the class of 2023, including my daughter, Haley, for the years ahead of you that will be filled with challenges and reward for your lifetime. Thank you.
Major Arthur G. Boniface, class of 1966.
Mr. Robert A. McCurdy, class of 1961. Placing Mr. McCurdy's ring into the crucible is his grandson from the class of 2023, Cadet Luke McCurdy.
These following remarks were sent in by my grandfather's widow, Belinda McCurdy. Andy believed the ring melt program to be an excellent idea and would have been extremely proud to welcome Luke to the Long Gray Line in this tangible way. It seems only appropriate for me to donate Andy's ring for inclusion in the class of 2023 ring melt to allow him in some small way to be a part of Luke's future journeys.
Lieutenant Michael W. Colbert, class of 1973. Mr. Nicholas T. Combs, class of 1973.
The class of 73 is honored to be linked to the class of 2023 with those 7 links on your class crest.
Lieutenant Colonel Roland E. Peixoto, Jr., class of 1973. Our last ring to be placed into the crucible today was donated anonymously by a female graduate from the class of 2004. It was donated in honor of the USMA graduates who lost their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan.
The legacy gold will be added to the newly donated class rings that are already in the crucible, which will then be taken away and subjected to intense fire. The gold from 740 graduates from 1896 to 2004 will melt and merge together. Later, that gold will be purified and forged into the West Point rings for the class of 2023. The Ring Memorial Program is a tangible sign of the enduring bonds of the Long Gray Line, and may the service and sacrifice of the ring donors remain physically and symbolically with the class of 2023 as they proudly wear their class rings.
West Point is a place where you give all of yourself. You give the full measure of yourself to something greater, to a living legacy, to the Long Gray Line. And that spirit never dies, that lineage lives on. That connection remains unbroken. Each ring is representative of a life spent in service to the country we hold so dear. Each year emerging from the crucible, destined to be reborn and born again, as they march with us into futures unknown.
I got to donate my grandfather's ring today. He was class of 1961. It's always really hard giving that ring away because it means so much to the person and to their family. But for me, it was worth it knowing that I'm going to have it in my ring, and so is every one of my classmates, and everybody that I've gotten to know here is going to take a piece of him with them.
It was like nothing I had expected. I did not expect to cry so much. All the stories I got to hear from all the ring donors were extremely touching, and I was very glad to be a part of this day.